everybody. Welcome to my channel. Today, I want to share with you the remarkable life of Saint Sebastian Dabovich, sometimes called Sebastian of Jackson, San Francisco, a man born in America who became a missionary priest, a builder of Orthodox parishes, and ultimately a canonized saint. He is sometimes called the first American-born Orthodox priest and the father of Serbian Orthodoxy in America. His life is a story of devotion, missionary zeal, humility, and the bridging of cultures. I hope as we walk through his journey, you'll be inspired, not just by what he did, but how he lived, and see how his example can speak into our lives today. Saint Sebastian was born Jovan Dabovich on June 21st, 1863 in San Francisco, California, to Serbian immigrant parents. His parents, Ilja and Jelena Dabovich, had emigrated from what is now Montenegro, near the Bay of Kotor, presumably from a village called Sezovici, near Herzig Novi. Young Jovan grew up in San Francisco at a time when Orthodox Christian life on the West Coast was sparse. There was an early Orthodox community in San Francisco comprised of Serbs, Russians, Greeks, Syrians, etc. Interesting, Jovan was baptized not in a land church, but aboard a Russian warship anchored in the San Francisco Bay, baptized by a Russian chaplain stationed aboard the warship Bogatyr. He later recalled that after the Russian chaplains left, the local Orthodox community had no consistent priestly presence, yet the faithful persevered, supporting each other. As a boy, Jovan was devout, quiet, and drawn to Orthodox worship. He served as reader, chanter, and teacher in the local parish. When the Russian Orthodox bishop in Sitka, Alaska, sent a priest to San Francisco, Jovan, still a youth, attended services even in difficult weather and rough roads. This love of worship and the church's beauty planted early in him a desire to serve more fully. To prepare for priestly ministry, Jovan Dabovich traveled to Russia, St. Petersburg and Kiev, to study at the theological academies there. In December 1888, after his studies, he returned to San Francisco. At that time, Bishop Vladimir, Bishop of Alaska and the Aleutians, tonsured him a monk, giving him the name Sebastian, and shortly thereafter ordained him a deacon. On August 16, 1892, Jovan was ordained a priest by Bishop Nicholas. Thus he became one of the earliest, if not the first, American-born Orthodox priests. Remarkably, he was quickly assigned to fulfill needs in American parishes. One of his early assignments took him to Minneapolis, replacing Father Alexis Toth in the Serbian parish there, while also teaching in the missionary school. Not long after, he was sent back to California, where he founded the first Serbian Orthodox parish in Jackson, California, dedicated to Saint Sava, and helped build and consecrate that church in 1894. This period of life shows his dedication to both tradition and innovation. He built with an eye towards serving immigrant Serbs, but also reaching across boundaries to those outside his ethnicity. Father Sebastian's missionary zeal took him far beyond Jackson. He aided the formation of parishes in Seattle, Portland, Oregon, Butte, Montana, and other frontier places, wherever Orthodox Christians and small communities were in need. He was willing to travel by stagecoach, rail, foot, whatever means necessary to supply services, baptize, preach, teach, and organize parochial life. One notable mission was in Alaska. In 1902, Father Sebastian was appointed dean of the Sitka Deanery and supervising Orthodox missions in Alaska. He helped establish St. Salva's Church in Douglas, Alaska, in connection with the Russian mission to serve Serbian miners and Orthodox Christians in the area. Though that church later declined and was even destroyed in a fire in 1937, his labors in Alaska remain part of his missionary legacy. He also served in the Serbian mission in the United States more broadly. Around 1904 to 1910, he led the Serbian mission from Chicago, where he served at the Holy Resurrection Serbian Orthodox Church, helping coordinate Serbian congregations with the Russian Orthodox mission. While leading the mission, he faced challenges. Some Serbian congregations resisted being under Russian jurisdiction, preferring to align with the Serbian hierarchy. Father Sebastian navigated these tensions ecclesiastically with humility and dedication. Father Sebastian was known as selfless, conscientious, humble, tireless, and deeply pastoral. In a report of one of his early assignments, a choir master of the parish said, Father Sebastian, a quiet and pensive monk, always considerate, conscientious, modest, he was a tireless and unselfish worker, a humble and just man, a bright torch of love, kindness, and sincerity. He also translated services, preached in English when needed, and sought to reach not only Serbs, but faithful of mixed ethnic backgrounds. He helped organize communities where Orthodoxy was a minority. He contributed to literature, preaching, sermons, and writings in English to help make Orthodox teaching accessible to English speakers in America. After his missionary work pressed on, Father Sebastian felt the call to return to serve in his ancestral land. In 1917, after decades of service in America, he requested release from American mission duties and went to Serbia, where he ministered to the church, including serving as a chaplain during the Balkan Wars and World War I. He made frequent trips between Serbia and America, continuing pastoral and missionary work in both places. Father Sebastian passed away on November 30th, 1940, at Zika Monastery in Serbia. His remains were initially buried there and later, in 2007, were reinterred in Jackson, California, in St. Salva Serbian Orthodox Church, the same parish he founded, bringing his earthly journey full circle. He was glorified, canonized as a saint by the Serbian Orthodox Church in May 2015. His feast day is commemorated on November 30th. He remains especially venerated in American Orthodox communities, especially among Serbian heritage faithful, as a bridge figure, one born in America but missionary to many peoples. As we reflect on his life, several themes emerge: missionary zeal, humility, pastoral care, unity above division, cultural bridge building. Saint Sebastian holds historical significance as one of the first, if not the first, native-born Orthodox priest in the United States. He embodied a new chapter in Orthodox Christianity in America, not as an imported clergy, but a local voice rooted in the culture and land. Although he was Serbian, his missionary work was not limited to Serbs. He served wherever Orthodox Christians were in need: Russians, Greeks, Syrians, Slavs of various backgrounds. He did not let jurisdictional or ethnic divisions prevent pastoral care. Bishop Irenej of Australia and New Zealand later described him. He carried the gospel of peace from country to country without any outside funding, from the Aleutian Peninsula to small Balkan towns. He baptized more people than any Serbian priest of the Western Hemisphere. Saint Sebastian reminds us that the church is missionary, the faith is not an ethnic artifact, and that holiness is found in humble service across boundaries. His life shows that one can be rooted in tradition, yet open to new contexts. One can be devoted to building churches and communities. One can be both pastor and missionary, building both spiritually and institutionally. And we can ask ourselves, what can the life of Saint Sebastian teach us today? Number one, be willing to move beyond comfort zones. He left his home in San Francisco to go to Russia, to Alaska, to the interior of America, then to Serbia. He answered where the need was. Perhaps God calls many of us to serve in places we didn't initially imagine. Serve beyond your ethnic comfort zone. Saint Sebastian did not limit his ministry to Serbs. He ministered across cultures, languages, and jurisdictions. We too are called to see beyond divisions and serve God's people universally. He bridged tradition and language. He translated, preached in English, taught converts, engaged culture respectfully. Today, many Orthodox communities need bridges between tradition and modern life, and he is a model. He had this humility in ministry. He faced criticism and resisted seeking power or honor. His focus remained on the gospel, on serving. When ministry is difficult or controversial, humility matters. He was rooted, but was also a missionary. Though deeply connected to Serbia and Orthodox tradition, he remained American-born, engaged with the American context, and planted parishes here. We should not think that roots and mission are opposed. Then there was his perseverance to the end, even when aging. He requested to be moved, and he lived in Serbia his last years. His example reminds us to stay faithful until the end. So at the end, I just want to ask you, which part of his life resonates with your own journey? Serving beyond comfort, holding tradition while adapting, persevering through difficulty. Perhaps we can pray today asking Saint Sebastian to intercede for us, to help us see where God is calling us to mission, to humility, to bridging divisions. Saint Sebastian Dabovich's life reminds us that faith is not static, that the church is meant to grow, reach, adapt, but always stay rooted in Christ. He stands as a bridge saint, born in America, serving in many lands, crossing cultures, ministries, jurisdictions, always anchored in humility and love. His canonization in 2015 brings him among us not as a merely historical name, but as a living intercessor and model. May his example inspire us to live courageously, humbly, and missionally, grounded in the love of Christ. I hope you enjoyed hearing about the life of Saint Sebastian, and I'd appreciate it if you consider subscribing to the channel. I'm doing a playlist on all, I think, 18 North American Orthodox saints. So if you subscribe, hit that notification bell. When the next video about another saint comes out, you'll be notified. Maybe give this video a thumbs up, comment. I'd appreciate all those things. Thank you for watching, and I wish you a blessed day.